I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Hi, I'm Marika Moore, and if you want to get all up in my business, you should check out my new book, Unsolicited Marriage Advice, where I provide an analysis of the best marriage advice that I've received over the past 16 years or so. So head on over to Amazon and buy it now.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listens Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook and Instagram at Man Listens Show. You can go to the link in our bio, get some of our merchandise, click that bell icon so you can be notified of our upcoming shows. And just tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet. I'm your host, Marv B. Let's bring the crew in. I don't know how long we're going to keep talking about this, but, President Trump, he's still in the news for this, I think I've always heard that things that happen on Friday are done intentionally because they get kind of lost in the news cycle. But this right here, made it all the way through the weekend, even in today because of its potential, ramifications. But Trump and Vice President Vance had the Ukrainian president in his office, and they got into a shouting match over the agreement. Man, the dude really got he got fired up, and then they even had some of the press corps coming after him. And just a lot of people were talking about how this makes us look as a country, and everybody had their different opinions about what took place. When y'all saw that, what would you think?
I mean, I didn't see it live. I saw the important parts on Morning Joe this morning. So, I mean, I think it's crazy for one that they were talking about only the presidents are supposed to be talking. So I don't even know why JD Vance even thinks that he has the authority to even be in the conversation anyway. And then they just don't sound smart. That's the part that is terrible. It's they're trying to flex on people, but they don't have the tools. It's they don't have the capacity to really really have a conversation where you might be hey, they're making some good points. It's just like children. I'm so we just don't look good as a unit. And I think that the fact that, Zelensky and everybody in the Ukraine are basically just asking us to just do what we said we would do. And they're nah, not unless you continue to, stroke my ego and play favors. But we all know he likes Putin. So, and then for the Kremlin to say that the U.S. is aligned with what we're thinking, I was oh, this is a terrible look. But they don't care. Oh, man, to hell in a handbasket. We are going.
I read something that said that they meaning the Russians, that they have been working him for years now. And it's pretty obvious that he's a Russian plant, for sure. The way he capitulates to Putin and the things that he says, he's been bought and paid for.
I think he just likes people who feed his ego.
Yeah, definitely. He's if you can make him feel good, then he's gonna do whatever it takes for that. He's one of those people where at the end of the day, he just, like you said, wants his ego struck. It's crazy, like you said, that this is the president that we have. He doesn't have any intellectual capacity beyond the normal person. Barack said it not too long ago. He said, don't be intimidated. When you get in these rooms with these people, you're going to see just how underwhelming they are. And I got a idea right now. It just came to me right now talking about merch. We got the Monique was right. We need a Kamala was right shirt, because Kamala said exactly what was going to happen with Ukraine as soon as Trump got in office. And here we go. He cut all aid he paused all the aid to him today. So here we go.
Yeah. Trump talks and negotiates like an old New York mob boss. You don't have the cards, give it up, and all this other
That
stuff.
was so stupid,
Yeah,
hilarious,
he
but it
said,
was
I'm
like,
not
come
playing
on, man.
cards. He said, yes, you
Yeah.
are. It was dumb. Um, but this is all a big power play. Whenever there's violence, whenever there's war, you just have to follow the money. And I started looking up, I was like, okay, they want them to sign this mineral deal in order for the United States to do what? Is for the United States to say, hey, Russia, go ahead and leave them alone because we'll be able to pay you off or we'll do what you say. Like, what's in the terms of this mineral agreement? And when I looked up the minerals, it's like stuff that goes into our, our smartphones, our, the lithium that goes into the batteries. That's very important. Guess who owns like a real popular EV vehicle, electric vehicle? President Musk, right? So this power play for these minerals, it's the same thing that's going on in Africa right now, and that's not talked about. The genocide that's going on there because of all the minerals that are in the Congo and the millions of people who, I don't know if it's millions, but the people who are dying in Africa that nobody even, like, I don't know, if somebody hadn't brought it to my attention a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't have never known about what was going on in the Congo at all. And thankfully somebody was sending me some Instagram reels and I did some research. But we're pulling out aid out of Africa and all these other countries, so they just gonna be short. But let us focus on these Ukrainians so we can try to get some money from these minerals. It's a long play. You just got to follow the money.
Yeah, and I forgot until I saw it today that his Zelensky's unwillingness basically to get in bed with Trump, colloquial speaking, was what led to his first impeachment, right? Because he was trying to get them to say negative stuff about Biden and Hunter Biden and all that. And they was like, nah, we're not going to do it. And they, basically broke the law to try to get that to happen. So he has a long beef with Zelensky anyway. And Zelensky's a TV star like him. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Definitely right about that.
I don't know, but I think that the way London came together and embraced Zelensky really shows that America is losing ground with our own allies, and we're gonna look up and we're gonna be a target because we're not gonna have anybody that's gonna have our back. Because I wouldn't trust Russia to stick up for us ever in any situation. So I don't know. I think they
It don't
playing
make no
fast
sense.
with
It
our
makes
own
no
security.
sense. Makes no
Yeah,
sense for us to align with a dictator after all these years and to back out from our allies. And, if we go to war, we already know who's on the front line. We already know that. And, it
yeah,
doesn't make any sense. It makes sense for nobody, Erika, other than Trump, so he can pad his pockets or pay
yeah.
off whatever debt they have, what I'm saying? Because they no telling how they got into him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because Hillary
Exactly.
said a long time ago, either he's not as rich as he says he is, or he's really broke.
I thought we was gonna go to the tax returns and stuff that he didn't want to disclose. I think he didn't want anybody knowing about his tax returns or his money because he didn't want people to know how little money he has. I think that people were thinking tax evasion was his primary reason for not wanting to show it, but I think it's he didn't want people to know he's really not making that much money. So I know he went bankrupt a few times. Sometimes when you go bankrupt, you don't necessarily go where they just wipe out all the debt. Sometimes you got to repay that debt over time. So who knows if he's done straight bankruptcy or where he actually has to pay his creditors back over time. Because
Nah,
if
there's
that
there's
judge
different
looks
types. Yeah, there's
down,
definitely different types of bankruptcy, and like I remember like people like our age and people older than us. When you go bankruptcy, that's when it's like, okay, you can't get no more debt for 7 years, but we're gonna wipe this out. We will let you start over. When you're talking about Trump's level and on a business level, it's more so about restructuring the debt, which I'm
Yeah.
sure you know about. I don't need to mansplain that to you. But it restructuring it and then like maybe reducing things or what have you. So he definitely did that. And again, you still got to pay something. They into him
right?
somehow, some way.
And see, but my thing is he's done it so many times. It's only so there are limitations to what you can do when you've done it before.
Right.
So we don't know how much he was able, like the first time you do it, they be like, go ahead, boss of the wall. The second time they be like, oh, this is your trend. You think this is what we just gonna keep doing? And then you got to prove more stuff, and they want to see your bank accounts and where this money went. And did you have any houses? Did you try to transfer this to your little nephew or cousin? Because we're gonna sue them and get that stuff back and put this in the thing. So it's like they go a lot more into depth into your personal business and what you've been doing when you do it more than once. So for him to have all these businesses have been through this process this many times, the judge don't care if it's a different business entity. If it's the same person with the same strategy, then it looks like it's abuse, and they're real serious about that. So who knows what he had to pay? So going back to who knows who he owes, and
Well,
if he really
I
has
think
money.
aligning with Musk though helped him out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's still indebted to the Russians. I mean, I think everybody that's not like a stretch. It's obvious.
And to Elon. So
But now
Definitely
he's
the
into
Elon.
Elon too. But the difference with Elon though, it's a domestic agenda for right now because of
mhm.
Elon. Because Elon's look, he's got his eyes everywhere. He's trying to take over the world like Telnet or whatever. But with Elon though, Trump got paid. He got paid, and then a lot of stuff that they're doing, like getting rid of the investigators, the people
Mhm.
who are the watchdogs to make sure the ethics aren't being violated, whatever. He fired all of them, and what do they call it? Inspector generals, I believe,
Yeah.
and got rid of that, so there's no oversight because we know from the last administration that they dirty. It's all everything with them is a grift. Everything
Mhm.
is about how we can milk the American people to get more money. But my point was with Elon, he got paid, and he did this whole, I don't know how deep y'all are into like cryptocurrency or whatever, but Trump made a meme coin and basically did a pump and dump where they just inflate the price, and then everybody buys in, and then you sell real quick and everybody's left holding the bag.
Yeah.
And he got super duper paid on that, and there's nobody to say, hey, wait a minute, how is the president able to do something that's so ethically shady? But I guess when you got how many felonies? 30 what? 32, 33? You
Yeah.
know,
30 something. Yeah.
it's
It's
not a
another
stretch.
one.
It's not a stretch for you to take advantage of other people.
Right. Right. Exactly. And that's the whole thing that they're they're taking capitalism, as it were. They're capitalizing on the less fortunate and people that really don't have any protections on them right now. And that's the ultimate goal. That's why, people kind of, was a throwaway comment when he was like, you won't have to vote anymore if you vote, and all that kind of stuff. He knows as long as he's in office, as long as he's in public office, there's certain stuff they won't be able to come after him for. And so he's trying to get everything aligned to where even after he's out of office, these people that are in positions of power won't have the heart or I'm not gonna say won't have the heart. They can't come after him because he's, basically put them in those positions and they're indebted to him.
Mhm.
But he's basically
Or
been
he's
given
restructured.
immunity by the Supreme Court. Because remember, they said you couldn't do whatever to a sitting president, and basically gave some
Yeah.
executive privilege to him that'll forever protect him from doing whatever. So it's going to be a mess. And I like you said, like people that aren't protected because this is a black show.
Mm-hmm.
As they pull back the oversight, we're going to start seeing different things. We're already seeing with trying to get rid of the Board of Education,
Yeah.
the Department of Education, excuse me.
Department of Education. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get rid of the Department of Education, and we said it on the show all the time. This system, this country, it doesn't work unless we're on the bottom. It doesn't work. So they have to do everything they can to try to keep us there. So if they get rid of the Department of Education, the student loan paybacks, all that stuff is going away, gets taken away, whatever other type of assistance they're able to give. Um, I don't trust the local schools to do right by our black babies. I just don't. And you put Linda McMahon, the wife of Vince McMahon, in charge of something that you want to take away. Like, make it make sense. Like, she's, well, I guess she's, WWE. I call it WWF.
Me too.
WWF has been around, so they know business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, in a sense, she's not a dingbat like DeVos was, right? But
Mhm.
what do you know about education?
Right.
Like how was that? And maybe you don't have to. I don't know what the um past person who has that department, what kind of qualifications they had, if it had to be in education, but you seem to me that you would have some sort of
Right. Yeah.
experience with that.
I think that's the biggest thing that I realized with Trump getting in office is that I really don't know what the qualifications for any of these people in these positions are.
Kiss
And
the
so it's
ring.
like,
That's it. Kiss the
well,
ring.
yeah, but I'm saying the prior positions, like, how do I know that that person was qualified? Like, I haven't taken the time to
Yeah.
seriously look into what the qualifications of the people running these major offices are. And I don't think many people have. And
No,
then
they
it's like,
have because they talked about what's the girl Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
They put her over intelligence, and they
right, but I'm
said and they suspected that she is like for real
a
is a
plan.
Russian plant, and you put her
Yeah.
over our intelligence, like
Right, but I
even
mean,
even the
all of the
specter
people.
of like you might have been corrupted by the Russians. You shouldn't even be in the conversation,
Right.
but she's there.
Yeah, and my whole thing is how do you get confirmed just quickly? Nothing has been held up. None of these people have been held up. They've been
Well,
confirmed quickly.
because here's my thing, and I don't remember. 'Cause I think when Obama first got elected, the Democrats had the House and the Senate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they did. Mhm.
And I don't recall because I was not as politically savvy as I am now. Not to say that I'm some savant or anything, but just I'm more aware now than I was back then. I just don't remember the Democrats ever being this ruthless. And I never remember the Republicans being so feckless. Like, cause I've seen they was like, nah, we're gonna fight, we're gonna hold this up, and whatever
Mhm.
they did, whatever they could to make sure like they're not gonna push forward their agenda without some sort of give to us, because we're gonna
Mhm.
make their life hell. I don't see how the Democrats fight in that manner, and that's why we are where we are.
Well, I think this the thing is there's two different ideologies right now. There's ideology of America as it always has been, how we romanticize it was founded on, those ideals of everyone having it only works when everyone has the best intentions for everybody in mind. And so then you are willing to say, okay, I'll sacrifice a little bit for the greater good. And then there's the other thought is, no, I'm in power. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to impose my will, and I'm going to, make everybody else see it how I see it. And, it's a battle, and Democrats are in the former camp where they're like, we're still we the people, and that's what we're fighting for is we the people. And so to go against that, then you're in a lot of people's mindset, you're going against the foundational principle of the United States of America.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, but
at
take
some
it
point
a
you gotta
step
stop
back.
wanting. You gotta stop wanting to get your ass kicked though.
Yeah.
But again, if
I understand everything you're saying, but it is not a winning strategy.
no, it's not. And it's not a winning strategy at all. And sometimes I try to be, I'm not gonna say hopeful, but maybe this does make a change in that mindset. Maybe it takes this. It's not gonna happen now because the people that are in power in the Democratic congressmen and senators at this point, it's too late. You already know what they're about. It's time for new leadership and new fresh ideas and younger, hate to say younger, but yeah, frankly, younger Democratic leaders.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, for real. But speaking of being bought and paid for and having somebody with their tentacles into you, and we a black show, so I got to bring it back to blackness. The mayor of New York, Eric Adams. Did y'all see this fool? He this dude, he had Fed charges on him, and then all of a sudden, the Justice Department said, "Hey, listen, we're not gonna go forward with it." Now, Rika is our resident attorney. She's always told us, "Hey, look, when the feds come knocking, they already got it locked down.
Mm.
You ain't getting out that joint, right?" And all of a sudden, they take the charges away. and he's talking about we're gonna get tough on immigration or whatever. So it's bad enough, he got out there, he did his speech, and I want to think I can't remember who it was. One attorney general was somebody was just like, yeah, if he don't do what we said, we're gonna put him back. We're gonna bring these charges back because they can't bring these
Mhm.
charges back.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's
he's
just stayed. It's not dismissed. It's just stayed.
Yeah. So, they own him. Like they literally own him. So he gave a speech and he was talking about, they wanted me to step down and he was talking real reckless. And he said, "Is you Negroes crazy?" You know what I'm saying? And thankfully Kurt Menefee called him out and was like, "So who's the Negroes you talking to? Are white people Negroes?" And then he wanted to get evasive. So, yeah, did y'all see this? Like, what was your thoughts on this fool?
I,
Man.
I don't mess with Eric Adams is a clown, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I did
I knew
see
he
it.
was suspect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my favorite word. That's not a word. I knew he was suspicious when he got elected, and they say he was the cop. No offense, I know some brothers and sisters who are really good people in law enforcement, but y'all know you a lot of them cops you can't trust them.
Particular New York PD. You
Right,
notice some shadiness there.
right,
Right.
right.
And then it's like a bad combination. So when you have the combination of you rose through the ranks of the police department and maintain political favor, that means you going along to get along. So you
Yeah.
can't be trusted because we don't know what you was up to in the PD and because we don't know who already had you bought and paid for before you even became a mayor. Because a lot of times they start getting backed by somebody with money. And where's that money coming from? Somebody who controls you. That's the problem with politics. Should be free.
Yeah, but the audacity, man, to just be belligerent, and I find it very funny that you use that term. Now we use that term somewhat lovingly.
Mhm.
Well, I don't use the N word, but that right there, we use it in a playful way, right? I don't even spell it like it used to be spelled when we were like. Do you remember being called a Negro?
No.
No.
I still remember the word being used more prevalent though.
Yeah, I do. I mean, because it used to be called. I remember it was called the Negro National Anthem.
Yeah,
Lifting
yeah,
it was
yeah. I
called the
figured
Negro
I figured
National
Aretha
Anthem.
was too young, but I
Yeah,
figured Lab, you had her. Like,
yeah,
for real. Yeah.
yeah.
But it's still called it's not still called the Negro National Anthem.
It's the Black National Anthem now, but yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember it being called the Negro National Anthem for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I find it funny how the only people that ever get chastised when this stuff happens is black people.
Right.
You know? And you coming at us, and you would think you was going after the people that got you off as the immigrants you going after. Yes, it's black immigrants, I know that. Right? But
Right.
you don't ever call no Haitians or no Negroes like that. No, that's an ADOS term.
Hmm.
I mean, he playing the hand that he was dealt. He was given those cards and those in that speech and whatever else. He ain't got no choice now. You might as
Yeah.
well not even listen to nothing else he's saying. You don't know what's him and what's not him at this point. You don't, I mean, he's trapped.
Have you ever seen anything like this, in your years as an attorney, where somebody just like that's in a political position and has active? I've never seen it before, like because they always going after black mayors. They done went after damn near every single popular black mayor that I've seen. They Ray Nagin, um, who else they got? They got my
Kwame.
girl, who
Kwame.
Kwame. They got Kwame. They went after Mosby out of Baltimore.
Baltimore. Hmm.
They got her too. So they always going after black officials. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I mean, them going after black officials for sure.
Like going
Like,
after them, but also then like saying, okay, we're gonna hold it, we're gonna pull it back just to see how you act, basically. Wink, wink.
well, so I think that the only difference with this is that it's public. I think that there are a lot of times when people get into trouble and you get called into that back room and your job is on the line and your job is on the line, but the American people probably don't know your job is on the line. But I know that there are some politicians who they have allegedly some like criminal ties and things like that. And I'm like, well, I know if they could prove that, that'd be all over the news right now, unless this is serving a bigger agenda. So I mean, I think that this goes back to what we talked about a little bit earlier. is I have not been as politically involved and aware as I have been in the past couple of years. And so a lot of these building blocks are new for me, like paying attention to elections that I can't vote in. Normally, I pay attention to the people I can vote for or can't vote for. So I can't vote in St. Louis City. So normally I'd be like, I mean, I can't vote. Y'all should get out and vote, but I can't vote for any of these people. Now I'm like, okay, who's talking about what? How did their debate go? Who's getting the support of the people? What's really happening over here? I just been paying a lot more attention. And I think the more people that start paying attention, the more of these situations are going to start being highlighted because it's going to continue to be swept under the rug by people who can benefit politically from having control over anybody in office. Because if you have a predominantly Black city, you're going to have probably a Black representative. And if you have a Black representative that you can control, it's a lot better than one that you can't control. So sometimes it's the devil you know. So I think that there are a lot more situations where you might have some dirt on some people and the rest of us just don't know about it. But, you know, age of information, truth is coming out. Let Cat Williams tell it. Everybody coming out. Everybody's skeletons coming out the closet. So we'll see.
Yeah, he was cooking right there.
Man,
hey,
let her cook.
Hey, for real, he was cooking right there. For sure, man, for sure. Yeah, I think that as we continue to push people to become more politically aware, informed, savvy, you do have to start looking at different elections and see how they impact us as a people. And you got to start looking like, state to state, because there are certain elections that if you, not everybody's going to be a political strategist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to inform yourself on things that you can from trusted sources, and there's still some out there. I'll give a shout out to me and last right brother Roland Martin. Tomorrow, well, as of this recording, when Trump, gives his State of the Union speech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as of tomorrow, when Trump gives his State of the Union speech, Roland Marty, damn, Roland Martin and other Black, political party members, representatives, they're going to be talking. They have Reverend William Barber, who's going to give his speech. You know how they always had like the opposition speech.
Mm-hmm.
They said, as soon as that comes on, they're encouraging everybody not to watch, because we know a lot of his ego is based on the ratings and all of those things that go along with that. But sources like that's going to keep us informed, so that we can say, okay, let me not, yeah, I got to vote for my interests, but let me try to influence the people I know in other areas to get out and do the same thing, and to be able to tell them why, other than you need to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Because that type of
And
peer pressure don't work. Because they did the February 28th. Everybody stay at home, and you got plenty of Negroes out here making jokes and stuff about how they're not participating in the boycott.
I
I was
know.
just about to say when you're talking about, people not to turn. I was like, it's gonna be a lot of people that still watch it just be, but going back to that boycott, yes, a lot of people very vocal. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay, don't do it. But why you got to denigrate what they got going on, man?
Right.
What
That's
do
my
me and C?
thing.
What do me and C say all the time?
Just be
If you don't
quiet.
want to be involved, just be quiet.
Yeah.
And I just don't get what do you get out of it? What do you get out of it by being a distraction, making
Mm-hmm.
jokes, writing your think pieces, trying to get people not to be involved? Like, come on, man.
And you know me, I was on the other side. I was like, Mama, I don't have time for that. She was like, just do it for me. I was like, okay. Because
I
I'm gonna
saw
do
some
it on my
stuff that
own.
went around that had a little bit more strategy to it, because I can see why somebody would say, well, how does a 1 day boycott actually work?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been seeing some memes going around where they're saying like, "Yeah, I did it. Walmart and Target lost 150 million on that day." I don't know how true that is.
It can't be true.
Just because somebody puts it in the meme doesn't mean that it's accurate. But I saw, they're starting to pass that around.
Right.
But I saw there was some agenda. It was like, okay, February 28th, we're going to, boycott. And then on this day, we're going to boycott McDonald's. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
which day that was. And then we're going to have another blackout day on this day. So there was some strategy
Yeah.
put into it so they can show, hey, this is what we're doing to try to make a difference. But
See,
people they couldn't get on board with that. I'm just like, come on, y'all.
I'm okay with doing whatever it is you want to do. It's just for me, it's like, and I've said this before, I don't want to always come at everything from the negative angle. So it's like I've said before, I use a black-owned laundry detergent. My thing is instead of boycotting these companies, I need to be supporting more
Yeah.
black-owned companies. So in the petty asshole that I am, everybody that texts me talking about some don't forget to not buy anything on 228. I text them back the website for purchasing black owned products, Naspora, and also sent out the link for purchasing True laundry detergent, which is the black owned laundry detergent that I use. And I'm just like, as opposed to not buying things on the 28th, either you bought it on the 27th or you buying it on the 1st, you still buying it. That's why I don't see how they could possibly lose $150 million. You're asking me not to put anything in my Amazon cart on one day when I literally buy stuff from Amazon every single day. They don't care about me waiting 24 hours to buy what I'm going to buy because I guarantee you my stuff on subscription is going to get bought because it saves me time and energy. So I think we do need to make an impact, but I think our problem is we come up with these one-time things and we need something that's sustainable, a sustainable impact that one, people in, like somebody was saying, rural areas, if you don't have access to other places and you get
Right.
paid on Friday and you need what you need, I can't
And
participate if I need what I need.
exactly. I agree. It's a Friday and it was the last day of the month,
Yeah.
when people get their checks or whatever. But, you know, you're not too far off as far as having alternatives. I think when it comes to your household staples, yeah, the boycott does show, the 1 day boycott does show the power, but it's not sustainable. You're right, because where else are you gonna get, your laundry detergent for the most part, unless you put the link up or what have you.
We
But
we not our ancestors.
no, no, no,
People out. I went. Go ahead, bro. Then I'll say what
no,
I
no.
want.
But I was gonna say, and then um I think where it did make an impact was not necessarily those household goods and items, but the restaurants and stuff like that. I know I've seen black restaurants saying thank you. We were 4 times as busy or 3 times as busy as we had been. And I think
Because that was the easy thing for people to do. Because they was like, if you're gonna
right,
spend
right.
money, spend cash, spending with a black establishment, and most of
Yeah.
us
And I say that's
go to
the
restaurants.
thing. Yeah, exactly. So you can take that and then while you try to maneuver and figure out how you do this, how you navigate that. And that's what it brings home is that we don't have our own stores, local stores like we used to. We don't have ownership in going back to when we're talking about Roland Martin. We don't have, you see how quick they get rid of the black people on all the news
Boy,
networks.
Reed gone.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So we don't, it really should be a wake up call. So it's a 1 day, but it's symbolic and it's to show you that we need to invest in our own people, in our own spaces, so that we can cater to and provide services to our own people.
yeah. I definitely
Yeah.
think that you need to do both. You need to be able to withhold your dollar and then give it to the people that look like you and that support you. Um,
Mhm.
Mhm.
that's just something that we have to do. We almost have to do. But like I said, I'll try to find the meme, but there's definitely a little bit more strategy
Mhm.
put into place when it comes to this. And I just think that at this point in our lives, and I don't mean age, just how we live as Americans, we are too tied in with the creature comforts that time and technology has given us.
Mhm.
Um, when I say we not our ancestors, a lot of people say that like if I confront racism, I'm gonna fight back. As if our ancestors didn't fight back as well. But when I say we not our ancestors are much tougher than us.
Much,
you know they
much.
they was like, well, shit, I don't have to ride to work. I'm just have to walk it 5 miles one way, 5 miles back. Your mom and your aunties, they was all doing that. We ain't gonna go to the racist grocery store because they put hands on the little black boy. We'll grow our groceries. We'll go 20 miles down to this store, just to make sure that we make our point. We ain't set up that way. And this ain't a shot at Erika, but we talking about suffer punishment on Amazon, just so I ain't got to leave the house. You know what I mean? And that's not a shot at you, but that's how we all are,
We are,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
So yes, we can still hold our dollars back, but we ain't our ancestors no more. So that 1 day, and here's the thing: I don't understand why I hate people say we as black people, but I don't understand why some of us are just so inclined to be resistant when it comes to moving collectively.
Yeah.
It's like everybody all of a sudden, got a fucking opinion. And that's that old, we're not a monolith. We
Yes.
all black. You talked about the restaurants, and now that you talk, Rika, you saw when they was coming after the immigrants and all the Mexican restaurants and Latin restaurants across the country. We ain't know nothing about it because we ain't on their social media. They was like, sorry, we ain't working today.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what kind of message that sent because they still getting sent away on planes, but at least they was able to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that goes back to the education. We entrusted them with educating us long ago, and we've been suffering ever since. So as long as they keep instilling in us their part of the story, then like the young people, for whatever reason, we have the benefit of being educated by our parents, by our, colleagues, by each other, our, people we went to college with or whatever. But everybody doesn't have the benefit of that. Some people only have the education that the system gave to them, and we all know that that's insufficient. And so, if you have a smaller view of the world, then it's easier for you to think that nothing can be done because it's easy for you to get basically manipulated by what you being told, what you're being educated with, what you've seen. And so when you see people trying to do better, it goes back to that we talk about how sometimes there's a disconnect between us college educated people, this uppity Negroes type deal, as opposed to, people who are more blue collar and stuff like that. So sometimes they think that we think that we can do more, and it's easier to distance themselves from whatever it is we're trying to do than to think that we could all come together and make it happen. So
They're gonna call you Eric Adams. You keep saying Negroes like that.
Uh,
the benefit of being me is I can say whatever I want to say.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, we say it on the show all the time. We're much powerful when we're together. Um, we just gonna have to start tuning out the naysayers and the people who are, presenting a distraction because the other side they're able to hold their nose and just say, "Hey, listen, if it's for the greater good of us and our children, our grandchildren, we'll look past a president who's a felon. We'll look past a vice president who, this in the past said how much he couldn't stand Trump and how Trump represented the racist and all this stuff. Now all of a sudden he up here in the Oval Office shouting more than Trump, you know, and
with his
they're able to
makeup
hold their
on.
nose. You
Yeah.
see Marco Rubio. First of all, you a punk. Anyway. Was Marco Rubio was Trump talking about Marco Rubio's wife or was it Cruz's wife
It
when he
was
was talking about?
Cruz, I thought.
But what did he do to Marco Rubio? Marco Rubio tried to get him, and then Trump took out all of them. Jeb Bush.
You know what? It might have been. I don't get me wrong. Don't give me the line. I don't know.
There was
Yeah.
some, but he Trump talking bad about him. And then
Yeah.
when that stuff happened with Zelensky, they just showed Rubio, and he was just like, damn, like man, this ain't good.
He
I think he
know.
gonna make it all 4 years.
Yeah.
You don't think this shit gonna implode? Like it's just like he ain't gonna him and Musk ain't gonna be lined up for all 4 years.
no, it's impossible. Trump ego too big and Musk ego too big.
Yeah. No, Musk is only here temporarily till he's gonna go save another country. You
He get
know.
his once he get his contracts put into place, he's out,
Yeah,
huh?
he gonna go save another country. But there's the what why would you believe Trump wouldn't last 4 years? Like what has led you to believe that the people that are propping him up and in power are gonna turn on him? What it
Now it's just a question. I mean, because
yeah.
you see, he talking about the tariffs coming back,
Starting tomorrow.
starting
Or
tomorrow. The
April
tariffs
4th. I
coming
mean
back.
March 4th, yeah.
People talking about eggs. They talking about eggs turning to currency now because eggs are so high. I'm glad I don't like eggs. you know, and within what 2 months, not even just 2 months, you said you was gonna fix inflation. You ain't do that. Stock market just fell off a cliff because you talking about these tariffs and stuff.
If
Like you gonna be able to make it 4 years? I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
was just thinking the universe maybe because he old as shit, but
That long they keep faking them what attempts. I saw something where they he was talking and they just kept zooming in on his ear and there was like literally like no damage, it was just like a regular ear. And I was just like, you just saying what we all knew. I've been said that. I said that wasn't real.
Yeah, we know.
That-
Yeah, we yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't real. So anyway,
The election wasn't real. That wasn't real. You know.
that's gonna come out right there, though. That's gonna come out right there somehow. Yeah,
He
some
good for pissing people off. So somebody behind the scenes may get mad, lose their little spot, get to talking.
We're gonna see. So
Yeah.
well, anyway, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Man Listen Show. Tell everybody about the show. Tell them about the blackest radio show on the planet. We'll watch you next time. Peace.
I see.
It's out to see.